Right, so if you look at this question that we got here, we got Mr. James, who was commenced on normal saline, which is 1 liter and was started at noon. And the rate or speed of infusion here was 125 milliliters for every 1 hour. So for every hour, we give 125 milliliters. The question is asking what time will the infusion end? There's some few things that we can highlight here. We got the volume, which is 1 liter. And then we got the rate, which is 125 mils an hour, and we don't know what time it will end. So what we could do, we know this one is our volume, and this is the rate. So what we could say is volume that we need to infuse is 1 liter. Remember, always we don't use the liters to calculate. So what you need to do is to convert this into milliliters. So this one will be 1,000 milliliters, and the rate, whenever you see mils per hour, that's your rate, is 125 mils per hour. So we could put this in plain English. And what this means is for every 1 hour, the patient will receive 125 mils. Or in other words, we could also say for every 125 mils, it will take 1 hour to infuse. So our question now we're asking ourselves is the original volume, which is 100 mils, will take how long to infuse. So you could cross multiply this. You could say 1,000 times 1 hour divided by 125. It should give us how many hours we need. So it's 1,000 milliliters times 1 hour. Then you divide this by 125 mils. Remember, the mils and mils here will cancel. Divide by 125 is a 1. Divide by 125 is a 8. And now what you're left with is saying 8 times 1. And this should give your answer as 8 hours. At this point, we know the 1 liter or 1,000 milliliters will take 8 hours to finish. But the question is asking us what time will the infusion end? So what we need to do is we need to take into account that this one started at 12 hours. Then we count from 12 hours, we count 8 hours going forward and see how many or what time the infusion will end. So we can say the starting time is 1200 hours. End time, when it needs to finish, it will be 1200 hours when it started, plus the 8 hours that it needs to run. So you end up with 2000 hours, which is also can be done as 8 p.m. Either of these answers should be acceptable, but remember, in hospital setting, we tend to use the military time, which, or the 24-hour clock as we call it, is 2000 hours. So this should be your final answer. Good.